Sure.
Hello, Laura.
Hi, Jessica. I'm just turning on record so I can share this later if you guys are okay with that.
Sure. Yep.
Cool. Yeah, so I'll tell you guys a little bit of backstory. And actually, I don't think Benny, I don't think I've even told you the name of the book. Have I told you that yet?
Um, I don't think so. It might have been one of your text messages.
So it's called Duck Buddies.
Yeah, I don't think I heard that.
So here's the backstory. So I posted a couple of weeks ago on Facebook just saying, hey, has anyone ever wanted to write or who's really good at illustrations? Because what slowed me down from doing a book, even though I've wanted to ever since I knew I was going to be a mom, like over 3 years ago, is the illustrations. And it's like, I don't really want to spend like $500 to $1,000 on like an okay, decent designer on Upwork and go through that whole process. So I was like, who of my friends is good at drawing and would want to do it just as a fun project? And so my friend Larry reached out on the Facebook post. And so we had a call. And then Benny and my mutual friend Raj from the Hangout Hot group, he reached out too and said, I've got the IP for these different NFT projects just sitting there doing nothing. Would you want to like use the IP and write a story around the characters and see if like, that added some extra cool element or whatever? Cause so for example, if anyone's familiar with the NFT project. So like one of the biggest ones is called the Bored Ape Yacht Club. And so our friend Raj has got 3 different apes. And then on the first call that Larry and I had, we were just brainstorming and we recorded it all. So I'll share it. But like 3/4 of the way through it, we started talking about writing it about ducks and having all those sort of double entendre jokes that the parents would find funny, like no ducks given, no duck zone, like anything that you could use the F word for. So full disclosure, if you're on this call or watching this later, like there are some silly, it's not that bad, but like some little double meaning jokes that kids wouldn't get, but adults would. And so we started talking about it being ducks as the main character. And then when Raj reached out, we realized that he also has Sup Ducks, which is another NFT project. So as we were writing, we thought, okay, if it works out with the IP and just everything, we could use the artwork could be inspired by the Sup Ducks project for the main characters. And then we could have some ancillary characters who are the apes. And that's sort of the background.
That is so cool. It is. It's really phenomenal how some crossover is happening in the publishing space. And I found out about this project and just happened to see that you were going live, and I was like, oh, I don't know if I missed the link.
Yeah.
So I'm glad I'm here. So I happened to find out about your project because you were actually wanting to enlist actual kids to listen to something and give feedback or something like that. And I was like, oh man, this is awesome. So I wanted to give you, I mean, of course I will connect more offline, but why I showed up is because of a value add, because I'm connected to the blind low vision communities and have a whole journey with that since we last connected.
Oh,
and
wow.
I actually am partnered with someone who creates audiovisual books for blind and deaf kids.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, so and then they employ part of the proceeds of what they do, they actually hire blind voice actors. It's a whole thing. Like it's incredible with like including ASL and all this stuff. So I'm here for this. And we've connected in the past with other things you do with the publishing space, but this is just like just a little like, that's why I'm here, because I would love to learn about how to potentially support what you're doing, and also the NFT. Oh, that's incredible. That it's kind of funny. It's kind of funny how it's kind of like you're doing it backwards, where like they gave. Now I want to know what these pictures look like with the ducks. But
Yes.
I love kids books. I love like I have the Velveteen Rabbit stuffed animal on my couch. You know, like so the ducks made me think of like the swan or the ugly duckling, or you know.
Yeah.
So, but it's probably not that. It's probably a different kind of duck.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys both for being on here. And I'm going to reshare this too.
Yeah.
So if anyone listens in the future, they can like share comments or send me an email, Laura@copythatpops.com. I'd so appreciate any feedback. Yeah. So, and really fast, just to refer to what you were saying, Jessica, I've got a client that already published a 5-book kids book series. And that's like more for like kids 8 to 12. And so I was helping her with voice actor auditions from ACX and trying to pick who to do the audio book for it. And so that I've got that for another link, so I can share that in the chat or wherever too. If people want to give feedback, I would so appreciate that, because that also kind of inspired me. I'm like, I've been talking about kids books forever and I haven't done it. So like, let's go. But yeah, so can you see the screen now, Benny and Jessica?
Yeah,
no.
I can see it. It's on the big screen in the living room.
Okay, cool. So
Sorry, I probably have to change something on my end.
Oh, darn. Yeah. Well, you don't actually absolutely have to see it. Although my horrible drawings might help give some context, because I realized as I wrote it, since our vision for it is maybe for kids like 2 to 6, 8, I don't really know, but the images are going to help also give context to the story. So sometimes if you just heard the book, you might miss a little bit of it because different characters are going to be speaking and you'll only be able to tell that from the imagery. Because I also decided to make this written so that it rhymes. So, yeah. Okay. So here are, if on the screen, you can see 2 of the subducts that our friend Raj owns. And they were the ones that I thought as maybe inspiration for the main characters. So the main 2 characters are Danny Mallard. That's a girl duck, and Ducky Ducker, and that's a boy duck. And then the ape characters, the queen of the apes, her name is Allie Ape. So I thought this one might be a good inspiration right here in the middle. That yellow hat could maybe be like a crown if Larry wants to do kind of like a crown to make it like really obvious, tie it in like the queen of the apes. And then these other 2 apes are the other ones that Raj owns. Obviously would not be having a cigar or whatever, the pipe in his mouth, but they're very expensive. So I can't be choosy in what the inspiration is if we use those. Okay. So it's called Duck Buddies. So my vision, and here's the illustration. Is that big enough for you guys to see, or do I need to make this even a little bit bigger?
I can see it.
Good for me.
It's okay. Okay, cool. All right. So my vision is when they first open the book, they see kind of like a parting of the universe and 3 ducks are coming out of the sky. So this is Danny Mallard, the girl, and her 2 parents. They're coming from another universe. And then it's just kind of the title and copyright page. So then the first set of the book would be right here. So Danny is walking to school and the parents are saying goodbye. So it is, a new metaverse is found and the Mallards make the move, but so different and alone, it's hard to find your groove. So now Danny is at school, and this is like all the apes and other kids are around her in the hall, and then at like a lunch table, and she's reading a book. Walking down the new school hall, not a friendly face in sight, Danny quickly looked around and tried to hide the fright. I'm so different. I'm so weird. No one looks the way I look. I'll just sit here and pretend to read this silly book. So any feedback so far? Not required. I don't hear you guys if you're there.
Not yet.
Okay. No worries. Okay.
Yeah, we're just listening to a run through and then
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good. So just stop me if you're confused or anything, if something is really weird. Okay, I'll keep going.
No, I got it. You're basically, it's, I don't know, it's my version of like a Dr. Seuss book, but with ducks.
Yeah.
It's gonna rhyme. and you have tech. Yeah, typical children's book, but the story behind it's where I'm more fascinated with.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So let's see how you like it. I'll keep going. Sad and feeling super low, Danny waddled slowly back. When behind a well-trimmed bush, there came a thunderous quack. Danny jumped and chirped for joy. I have found another duck. Was he there in school today or here playing in the muck? So this is Ducky Ducker. Sorry, can you guys hear that stupid beeping? Hopefully not. Okay.
No.
Okay, good. It's just me. Someone's like texting me and I'm like, ah. Coming into full duck view, Danny smiled and said hi, but stumbled just a little and kicked mud into his eye. Oh no, I'm sorry, she yelled, feeling far worse than before. Well, I'm already dirty, so what's a little bit more? My name is Ducky Ducker, he said, smiling and muddy. Nice to meet you, laughed Danny. Hey, want to be my buddy? Sure thing, said Ducky nicely. I can show you all around. Have you met Allie Ape yet? She really runs this small town. No way, said Danny, sighing. All the apes seem mean and bored. I tried saying sup today, but was totally ignored. Let's go, said the little ducker. I know what we need to do. At my house, we'll find the way to sneak into their crew. Come inside and try this on, he said with costume in hand. It's brown, soft, and has a tail. I don't think I understand. In a top secret treehouse, the coolest kids have a club. If we morph to look like them, we'll no longer get the snub. So they're holding like little ape costumes. I don't know how we're going to hide their beaks in the ape costumes, but that's up for Larry to do. Since it couldn't get much worse, she thought it was worth a try. As they passed Mother Ducker, they waved and said goodbye.
We're all laughing at Mother Ducker, just so you know.
Good.
That's because we're just a bunch of grown-up kids over here.
I love it. You can't imagine how much Larry and I cried laughing, coming up with different ideas. And then when I actually sat down to write it, it didn't end up being quite as crude as we joked about, but little things I thought could be fun for the adults. And actually in the drawing, this is the ape's treehouse and it says no ducks zone. So I want there to be a sign that says no ducks zone. Okay.
Well, it's kind of like the NFT style almost seems more mature. Like I'm trying to place it because I think I've seen this artist's work before. So it is kind of funny. Like
you've seen what before?
I think I've seen this NFT artist's work before with the way the apes look.
Oh.
And I was like, and so on one hand, it almost does seem more mature.
Yeah.
Or meant to be, and like a cross between Simpsons and like it could kind of venture in.
Yeah.
But so far, like sorry, I don't know how much input you might, are you doing a full read through and then we give input after, or?
Yeah, maybe I'll just keep on going. Yeah, but I so appreciate what you guys both said so far. Yeah. It's very encouraging. Okay, so in this scene, they're up at the treehouse and there's Allie, the queen of the apes. Okay, so it says, getting close, they heard the noise, lots of fun and playing games. They were shooting videos to generate more fame. In the middle of the pack stood the leader of the apes. Allie laughed and cheered them on while munching on green grapes. The ducks put on their costumes, climbed up and walked on through. Chatting, laughing, and smiling, their confidence quickly grew. The apes are nice and friendly, not mean like I thought before. Maybe we should not have fibbed, but knocked right on the door. Hey, you two are imposters. I can see you have webbed feet. Apes only here. We're the best. This club's for the elite. We lied. It's true. We're sorry. We just wanted to make friends. Get the duck out of our club. Birds and apes just do not blend. With their heads now hanging low, the two ducks felt so much worse. Where I come from, it's better because buddies are diverse. Allie Ape then came forward. What you said does make good sense. Let's give you one last chance to speak in your defense. Danny thought about back home where humor helped creatures bond, but kids seem so different here. How will these apes respond? Danny breathed in deeply, then took her one last shot. To have fun in the water, we ducks don't need a yacht. The apes all broke out laughing, even rolling on the floor. You've got good jokes there, Danny. I can't wait to hear some more. Everyone came together and took down the no duck sign. Would you like to eat some grapes? Here, you can have some of mine. Did I say grapes? Grapes. Feathers, fur, webbed feet, long tails, run, fly, swim, climb, or crawl. Being different isn't bad. We're buddies, one and all. And scene.
Yeah.
So
I love how modern you're weaving in like the influencer aspect of things, like real life stuff that kids are actually seeing. But then it's like almost like, but you're also, I mean, yeah, there's a YouTuber creator, but you can still come in my actual blanket fort. Like it's a really cool way that you kind of integrated some of that.
Well, thank
I
you.
love it.
Thank you. That's so
Yeah.
sweet. And Benny, how about your crew over there?
Yeah.
You're on mute if you're trying. I'm not sure.
They're still laughing about
Yeah.
the references, references.
Yeah. And we kind of thought like, even if this book goes absolutely nowhere, we're having fun writing it. It's a great learning experience. And we're hoping that all of our like friends in the NFT crypto space would get a kick out of it with the little jokes about like, cause it's Bored Ape Yacht Club. So the apes, they seem mean and bored. We don't have to have a yacht to have fun on the water. And then they have like their own secret crew or club or whatever. So, and in a way, the Bored Ape Yacht Club is kind of one of the top NFT projects. So they're also like the cool kids in this universe school. So that was sort of the inspiration behind some of the stuff.
It's really, I actually think that's really brilliant. It's a way to, I definitely can see a series with these, which is probably obviously where you're going with like, I'm sure you can cover all sorts of topics that kids are going to be facing and dealing with and life skills and all that. Mm-hmm. So it definitely makes me want to know more like, okay, where is she going to go with this when it comes to, the kids that do feel left. Well, I think you did go full circle with it where the ducks eventually were accepted. But sometimes that doesn't happen in real life with the cool kids.
Yeah.
So what age group did you say this was for again?
I mean, I've got a 3-year-old, so I had it in mind that hopefully something he would enjoy. So I kind of wanted to keep it punchy and moving. So there's not like a ton of text on the pages, but it's also dealing with school. So that's like a little bit like older kids would maybe get. So I'm kind of thinking like 3 to 6 maybe is like the tightest target, but it could be anywhere from like 2 to 8 or 10 or whatever, maybe with the parents reading it, obviously to the younger kids.
I think, to stay in line with like some of the complex emotions or thoughts that maybe a 3-year-old might not be thinking about yet.
Yeah.
Like I know listening to it, like I can see where you're going, where it's vague, but I know where you're headed with it. But a 3-year-old might be like, oh, that's just a cool tree though. I don't know. Like
totally. Yeah. And that's the thing too, is like, I read some books to my son and some are like kind of heavy text or use words he would never understand, but he still enjoys the pictures and maybe the rhyming sounds. And so he's still absorbing stuff. You kind of never really know what they're fully absorbing. And sometimes repetition, they just like it because they can kind of predict what's coming. And over time they soak in more and more. So I don't know. I would say is
well, and the sound of your voice. I'm sure he just It doesn't
Yeah.
matter what you're talking about.
That's true. Yeah.
So with this particular project, do you have like a deadline for? Are you looking for? Do you have like a publishing? Are you vetting publishers? Are you publishing this?
Yeah, we were just going to self-publish since that's what I help people do all the time. And
right.
yeah, so our ideal plan is to have the Kindle version done in mid-November. So in 2 months or fewer. And do a fun bestseller, because I'm sure we can hit number one in lots of categories just by not that many sales, like 20 to 60 sales or something. And then I want to have the print version done, and we're not going to do a hard back book because you have to go through like a third party. Well, actually, I mean, Amazon does have a hardback now, but it's like just the hard on the outside, not like a board book for really little kids. So we're going to just do like a regular paperback. And I'm thinking maybe it'd be a square size book. I want to have that done by Cyber Monday. So that'd be November 28th, just because then a lot of people are on their computers that day, and we could, make a big fun special around it. And then if people bought it, then they would hopefully get it in time for the holiday gift giving season if they wanted to give a copy to like a nephew or niece or somebody. So that's the goal.
You know what I like about the square? Yeah. What I like about the square is like it almost could feel like an Instagram, like because it's a square.
Wait, what do
like
you mean?
Even though in my mind, I was like, oh, that's kind of funny because like going to your Instagram feed or something, it is a square. Like it just visually when you go see things. So that'd be kind of funny. It'd be funny to see. I know it's a little bit different layout, but that would be kind of funny to be like, oh look at how many likes this got or something. Just to make it like realistic because they're on their iPad, on your iPad, or looking at things. Anyway, I made that connection. I know it's not off topic a little bit. November. I think that's so brilliant. Are you also going to be bridging this to any nonprofits or anything like that?
Did you say reaching out to nonprofits?
Are you going to be are proceeds going to be going towards a nonprofit? Are you going to tie in a?
Oh gosh, that's a great idea. I didn't even think there would be any profits, but that's not thinking big enough, right? Well, we did talk about turning like our art also into an NFT project. And maybe even creating our own NFT token so that people would get future access to things, or maybe like if it, really had some traction, even with a small amount of people, they could get like early access or access to us to help create the next book or something like that. And I do love projects where they build in a piece of giving profits for sure for anything they do. Like with the NFT project. So I think I was thinking more like, I kind of assumed the book wouldn't really make that much in terms of profits, but maybe if we did an NFT project around it, it really grew a little community, then maybe that could lead to something. Hey, John.
Hi, John. I want to give him a chance to speak before I.
Hey, John. How are you?
Hey, good. How are you?
Good. You just missed Benny. He was on, but I think he got disconnected somehow. And this is Jessica. So John's coming all the way from Australia.
Oh, nice.
Good day,
Love
mate.
it. I always feel it like I just have to ask, what time is it there?
Good question. Wait up. It is 8:34 a.m. So yeah.
Oh boy. Oh man.
This morning.
We're talking about her project and her brilliant way of how she's going to be incorporating NFTs and tokens into actual kids books. And what I was about to segue in when you joined was we did a read through of a book that she's working on with ducks, ducks and monkeys.
Oh, with
ducks and
who?
sheep, I think. Yeah, with Laura just now. She wrote. She's writing a book. Sorry, I don't. You can actually. Here, I'll pause so Laura can actually talk about her project.
Yeah, well,
I know a little bit about the book and that it's a kid's book. Who were you collaborating with? Sorry.
okay, so so here's the backstory real quick again. So John, I just made a post on Facebook a couple weeks ago saying I've been wanting to write a kid's book for years, but I haven't actually taken the action to do it. So what's kind of holding me back is the illustrator. Like I don't feel joy by going and trying to find someone for $500,000 to do illustrations on Upwork. It's like a lot, even if it's just basic, decent ones. And I was like, and even just personally, like we moved to a new area and I don't have as many buddies around here. So I was like, what could I do to collaborate with someone I really love? And so I posted on Facebook, just like, hey, who loves doing illustrations? And one of my old clients and friends, his name is Larry Roberts. He was like,
no way.
Yeah. He's like, I love doing illustrations. And he actually published a book with me in a group that I ran like 4 or 5 years ago. So he's a podcaster. He's an author. He loves doing illustrations and he's hilarious. Like he's so funny.
That's the best.
Yeah. So we're just like, we get along like really well. So we jumped on a call and we started brainstorming ideas about what we could do for a kid's book. And by the end of the call, we decided on ducks as a main character and we could make subtle jokes with double meanings with like no fucks given and the title, that kind of stuff. And so the title of the book is Duck Buddies.
Yes. I love
it's like when you go, it's like watching a movie and then the adults know, like in the Lion King or something, like what's going on with the kids.
Faraway tree.
Exactly.
Faraway tree with Dick and Fanny climbing this giant tree.
There's one that a friend sent me called Brenda's bush needs a trim. Brenda's beaver. Brenda's beaver needs a trim. So she actually has a beaver walking around with her, and it's like all these inappropriate double meaning jokes. It's so funny.
Oh, that's the best.
So mine's not quite that in your face, but it has like little things in there. And then a few days after Larry and I had our first call, Raj from the Hangout Hot groups reached out. And he was like, I own the IP for a lot of these projects because he has 3 bored apes. If you can see my screen that I'm sharing, these are Raj's bored apes. And he's got some stuffed ducks and he's like, I'm allowed to use the IP, but I'm not doing anything with it. Would you want to like work on a book? Like you write the book and you can use my IP. And I was like, well, I'm already talking with Larry about doing something about ducks. And so now the 3 of us are talking and I wrote a first draft with like basic sketches and I just read it for Jessica and for Benny. I'm happy to read it again if you want to hear it. It's not that long.
And no, read it. I mean, if you're up for it, I'm up for it.
Oh yeah, I'm up for it. Jessica, are you okay with that?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, cool. So yeah, so I'll just read it right all through and then feel free to laugh or ask a question if that's something doesn't make sense. But I love the background. Look at all that tractor stuff.
And the dog up on the hay bales.
Oh, wow. That looks like a lot of work over there.
Huh. Well, there you go.
Sorry, I'm distracting. Keep going, Laura.
No worries. Well, so some of the book makes a little bit more sense if you see the imagery. So I don't know. If, you might have to look at your screen. I don't know if you're able to as you walk around, but okay. So the introduction. So as you open the first book, the title is on the right-hand side. And then on the left, I'm imagining like a cosmos, like opening up and 3 ducks come through. And actually, let me first introduce the characters. So the main character is Danny Mallard. That's a girl duck. And Ducky Ducker. That's a boy duck. And then Allie Ape is the queen of the apes. And then there are 2 other apes that have speaking lines. And those are like the only ones that really talk so far, in what I've got. Okay. So the universe opens up and it's Danny Mallard and her parents are coming through like a web portal. a
Mhm.
portal. It doesn't have to be a web, whatever. Okay. So then Danny is walking to school and her parents are saying goodbye. And it starts like this. A new metaverse is found and the mallards make the move, but so different and alone, it's hard to find your groove. Walking down the new school hall, not a friendly face in sight, Danny quickly looked around and tried to hide the fright. I'm so different. I'm so weird. No one looks the way I look. I'll just sit here and pretend to read this silly book. Sad and feeling super low, Danny waddled slowly back when behind a well-trimmed bush, there came a thunderous quack. Danny jumped and chirped for joy. I have found another duck. Was he there in school today or here playing in the muck? Coming into full duck view, Danny smiled and said hi, but stumbled just a little and kicked mud into his eye. Oh no, I'm sorry, she yelled, feeling far worse than before. Well, I'm already dirty, so what's a little more? My name is Ducky Ducker, he said, smiling and muddy. Nice to meet you, laughed Danny. Hey, want to be my buddy? Sure thing, said Ducky nicely. I can show you all around. Have you met Allie Ape yet? She really runs this small town. No way, said Danny. All the apes seem mean and bored. I tried saying sup today, but was totally ignored. Let's go, said the little ducker. I know what we need to do. At my house, at my house,
Are you
we'll
dancing? What are we doing?
say
Sorry.
it again.
It looked like John was dancing.
Oh yeah, I like the movement reactions are good. All right, so let's go, said the little ducker. I know what we need to do. At my house, we'll find the way to sneak into their crew. Come inside and try this on, he said, with costume in hand. So it's like an ape costume. It's brown, soft, and has a tail. I don't think I understand. In a top secret treehouse, the coolest kids have a club. If we morph to look like them, we'll no longer get the snub. Since it couldn't get much worse, she thought it was worth a try. As they passed Mother Ducker, they waved and said goodbye. Getting close, they heard the noise, lots of fun and playing games. They were shooting videos to generate more fame. In the middle of the pack stood the leader of the apes. Allie laughed and cheered them on while munching on green grapes. The ducks put on their costumes, climbed up and walked on through. Chatting, laughing, and smiling, their confidence quickly grew. The apes are nice and friendly, not mean like I thought before. Maybe we should not have fibbed, but knocked right on the door. Hey, you two are imposters. I can see you have webbed feet. Apes only here. We're the best. This club's for the elite. We lied. It's true. We're sorry. We just wanted to make friends. Get the duck out of our club. Birds and apes just do not blend. With their heads now hanging low, the two ducks felt so much worse. Where I come from, it's better because buddies are diverse. Allie Ape then came forward. What you say does make good sense. Let's give you one last chance to speak in your defense. Danny thought about back home where humor helped creatures bond, but kids seem so different here. How will these apes respond? Danny breathed in deeply, then took her one last shot. To have fun in the water, we ducks don't need a yacht. The apes all broke out laughing, even rolling on the floor. You've got good jokes there, Danny. I can't wait to hear some more. Everyone came together and took down the no ducks sign. Would you like to eat some grapes? Here, you can have some of mine. Feathers, fur, webbed feet, long tails, run, fly, swim, climb, or crawl. Being different isn't bad. We're buddies, one and all. The end.
I love it. I was dancing earlier. I was like, oh, yes. Some of the references to NFT land, I think, will make it so much fun. Like, I could see this selling really well into the NFT community for their kids.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
And I reckon that it aligns really well with VeeFriends as well, because a lot of people who follow VeeFriends will know so much of the backstory of like the little sort of comments about the yacht for the Bored Apes,
Mhm.
and like you could refer to a casino somewhere, and like you could draw elements of all the NFT projects. Like you could even joke about the rug pull of the dope art, stuff like that, where
Mhm.
it would be so relatable to so many people, and that would like potentially just get it started in terms of sales, which would then generate interest and make it go further.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what we're thinking too, because we're like, unfortunately, we can't do the IP of V Friends. I would love that, but like Bored
I
Ape
know.
and the Subducks, I'm imagining that if we shared that with them, they would want to support it, even if their IP isn't in it, because I would think all like the high
All
tide raises
tides.
all ships
Yeah,
kind of thing. Yeah. Where
you
it's like,
got it.
oh, cool. Like these things are starting to influence other content and it's just funny and cute. So
That's spot on. I think that's 100%, because it made me think, far out, I should buy a Bored Ape or a Subduck, because I think it's going to do wonders for the sales. As more products get made, people be
mhm.
like, oh my God, I'll buy a Bored Ape and use it as a character to create a show or a whatever.
Mhm.
Like look at
Yeah.
Snoop at VCon, and he was wearing, all these Bored Ape stuff, and it was just fun.
Totally.
Mm.
Yeah. And then we thought like maybe we could at some point like build our own NFT project around it and make utility and interesting stuff around it. I don't know. Like we kind of
Well, it's like the edutainment. Like I see it easily going into the edutainment side of it, and because you're targeting, I mean, you're targeting so many people as an audience, where even like the books for dummies. I know it's a little
Yes.
sidebar-ish, but not, because like you have an opportunity to actually educate on certain things that are a part of real life, and especially with, not to get all political, but like there's just things where our kids are actively, they need ways to understand what's happening, but in a way that's on their level, but
Relatable.
also
Yeah.
relatable. And then I didn't mean to cut you off, Laura, but there was something I wanted to add to what John said. Right when you got on, John, we were talking about like, her publishing date for this, and where she's headed with it, and what was it, Cyber Monday?
yes, I'd like to do the Kindle launch in mid-November and then have the print ready by Cyber Monday, November 28th, so that if people ordered it, well, one, people will be at their computers so we can do great fun promotions on that day. But then if people order it, they'd have it hopefully in time for the holidays if they wanted to give it out to like a niece or nephew or somebody.
Nice.
Yeah. So where I was bridging this is immediately thinking like, this is totally a series right here. Like I'm like left hanging, like, well, what's next? Like what other social topics are we going to get into with this, and edutainment type stuff? And I see a whole series with it. It's like a cross between, I said it in the chat, like a comic book and like a regular book, which is also really cool. And what John, I was telling Laura, like there's a whole dimension to this where I'm also connected to the publishing space for the blind and low vision deaf
really?
community. And some of the things being done in that space, it's incredible. Like when it comes to Braille, and or at least having the Braille text to download, or alt text, or American Sign Language, or just even the Kindle audio. There's ways with because I know you were saying, Laura, that a kid, when there's dimensions here where they have to look at the pictures to understand who's speaking, or different changes, but there's ways where you might not have to just tweak it a little bit to where that won't be a barrier. And the last thing I'll bridge here is the partnership I have, who's about to launch something. I think I can share a little bit about it. It's a little later this month. He has rights to kind of like the class, like he did a Winnie the Pooh project, but it's like the version where is he wearing a red shirt or not wearing? He has like the Pooh character voice where he has the rights to use that to like say happy birthday Laura or whatever.
Oh wow.
It's really cool. And he is using, since your launch date, publish date is like obviously around those Giving Tuesday, like there's also something for artists. And I posted, I'll go back and find that for you. But it's specific to artists. That's also right in that week of like Giving Tuesday and Cyber Monday. There's also one for artists. And this, I hope you're tracking with me. In the crowdfunding Kickstarter space, there's a lot you could do with that, where you could also, you know, like I know on one hand you were like, oh, I was just doing this for fun because I said I would always do this and publish it. But you actually could, I mean, this actually has a lot of potential to fund your next book, because there's like all kinds of partnerships with like blind voice actors and you know, like different influencers and stuff, that as soon as I see this is what you're doing with the apes, like it's just brilliant. Like I see this actually being an actual opportunity here. And it's just, you know, I guess I think it would be important for the accessibility conversation, that there's a lot of, I think, natural partnerships that could actually like explode this if you wanted to go that direction.
Interesting. Yeah. Well, I really appreciate both of your guys jumping on and giving your feedback. And was there any
So much
area?
fun.
Was there any area where it wasn't clear or like a rhyme didn't work? I realized as I've read it, I used the word worse 3 times. So I'm going to go back and fix that. Like it couldn't get much worse, or she felt
Such a
worse.
perfectionist.
What? No,
You're such a perfectionist.
but that's what you need to do. It's not very many words.
Yeah,
So you
do.
got to be on it. And it's so funny because like I read it to my husband and he thought it was great. And like, I think he wouldn't have, I think he legitimately thought it was. And I kind of, this is really lame, but like in the moment I started to get teary eyed because I was like, I did it. Like I wrote one, you know, because I've been saying I was going to do it for so long. And I correct like every book that I read. I'm like, give me a pen. I don't like how they use this rhyme, or this doesn't make sense. Like it could be better.
That's great.
For the kids' books that I read, or like, it really makes me mad that like literally every character that has a voice is a male character. And if there is a female, she's like whining about something and it just drives me crazy. So it's not all the books, but there are a lot of that.
Yeah.
And so like when I read books, I'll change the gender, and I'll sometimes change it on different reads. Like I'll read one character as a male the first one time, and then the next time I read it, I'll read it as a female, and I'll switch it around because I'm just like, this doesn't have to always be all men all the time. It drives me crazy. So that's why when I was writing this too, I was like, okay, I want the main character to be a female. I want the leader of the apes to be a female. Like it just
love it.
But there's still males too. Like it can relate to everybody, but like, I don't know.
Yeah. Look, do you know
there
what?
was a lot in there.
Yeah. And I was going to say, this generation of kids coming through, they don't see gender the way that our parents did.
Agreed.
And, you know, even our generation was influenced by our parents, but then the next generation coming through, they're going to see everybody is pretty much equal. Like, sure, like we've got different bits, like they're not stupid, but as in they're not going to see women as whiny, and they're not going to see men as these brave knights. So I think that it's really fun the way that you've put the characters together. Like I'm starting to find more fiction books these days with female lead characters that are warriors, that are brave, that are heroic, that are you know, the hero of the book. And so yeah, I think it's exciting what you're embarking on.
Cool.
And writing for kids isn't easy. I took a writing course where the children's lip section or whatever was actually one of my favorite ones. And I I wrote a story about celery and oh my God, what was the friend? Another inanimate object. and, and something about wanting to shoot. Sorry, my iTunes decided to start playing for some.
Well, yeah, definitely. I made it hard on myself by making it rhyme, but I thought the rhyming would be fun. So I like the rhyming ones that I read to my son.
I like the rhyming.
I liked it too.
That's cool.
It didn't feel too contrived. It actually like it rolls really nicely. And some of your questions I'd have to like actually analyze and look at the words and
Totally
with feedback, but like hearing it 2 times in a row, it's very melodic, and kids actually, they say for like even learning another language, for example, in song, that kids can learn English as a second language faster or whatever if it's a rhyming song thing. So it didn't feel, honestly, like it just, there's a ton of potential with it. I'm so glad that you. I'm so glad I saw you were like doing an impromptu call like this, and happy to see how it develops. And I may have, if you're open to that and can connect offline, I may have some additional resources or people I can create an intro to like kind of be in step with what you're doing.
Yeah, that would be great. That'd be fun. Yeah, we're kind of like, let's just see where this goes and have fun with it. And even if only our besties buy it and it just sits there and does nothing, like we still had fun in the process. So
I totally agree.
Yeah.
That's how you actually make it a success.
Yeah.
Sorry, John.
Go for it, Jess. Go for it.
Well, I was thinking like even how you're bridging in actual NFTs with this. Some Kickstarters are using that because it's rewards based and not just donation based compared to GoFundMe. People are doing that with their Kickstarters where it's like, okay, at this level, if you invest in this, you get this T-shirt, and like not some of them are. It could be digital rewards and or also, a tote or whatever you felt like doing if the shipping was worth it to you. But because you're doing it this way, I wouldn't I guess what I would just also add is when it comes to the art, because I've been thinking about turning some of my art into NFTs and what to do with that too. There's so many ways to bring visibility to what someone's art is doing and what it represents. And I know looking for a children's illustrator and stuff, which I don't know. I mean, the guy I'm partnered with probably has an illustrator, which doesn't necessarily mean NFT, but because you're doing that nuance, I think it's an opportunity for you to give voice to just a lot of great work out there that otherwise wouldn't have had that visibility. And so many collaborations there. And also not to limit you with, I know this like in some ways is pressure because you said you've been wanting to do this book and it just so happened someone's, I don't want to say like donating their IP, but I wouldn't let the illustration aspect like limit you, because there's going to be plenty of people you run into who are like, you don't have to, I don't want you to feel limited where you have to limit your story and what you want to talk about and what else is in there, that a wealth of things for your own kiddo. And you know what I mean? Not feeling limited by the illustration aspect of it, that you have to like alter your truth and what you really want to say, limited to someone's illustration,
yeah, totally.
Yeah. Hey, Robert, welcome.
Yeah, hi, Robert. Thanks for jumping on.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for having me. Glad we're here and excited to hear more about what's going on.
Okay.
I feel like we're on Clubhouse. This is actually kind of funny.
That's
it feels
true.
like a Clubhouse
That's so true. Well, Jessica and John, feel free to pop off if you need to.
I was going to say, yeah, I'm just taking care of some emails, so I'll bounce out. But Rob, nice to meet you, mate.
Yeah, Rob, you're out in
Good to meet you too, John. Hey,
Texas
sorry, I was
now.
sitting here in the kitchen
Cool.
planning a wedding, but I'm taking a break from it. And
Wait, you're
I'm now paying
engaged?
attention. You have all of it.
You're engaged?
I am for another 12 days now.
Wow. Wait, you're getting married in
Whoa.
12 days?
I am getting married on the 16th. Yes.
Oh,
Aw.
congrats.
Oh,
We're doing
congrats.
seating arrangements and figuring out who needs rides and all that fun stuff. So
Oh, very
Oh,
cool.
now
good
it's at the
stuff.
crunch time of paying everyone and doing all the planning. And maybe I end up having to write a book about this at some point too. And we can talk about it later on.
Yeah. Yeah. Planning a wedding
I
is
love it.
not easy. But yeah, thanks so much for popping
luck,
on,
man.
John, and your feedback. I appreciate it.
Cheers, Law. Have a
And
great day.
Jessica too. Yeah, Jessica too. If you need to pop off, I appreciate you've been here since the beginning. You're so sweet. But yeah,
Okay,
so
thank you so much.
yeah, for sure. But yeah, Robert, to bring you up to speed, do you want to
Yeah,
hear the story?
I do. Of course I do.
Okay. Okay, cool. Hold on, let me share my screen. And how familiar are you with NFTs in the crypto world?
A little bit, not even enough to be dangerous though.
No worries. You don't. It's not necessarily a
It's
prerequisite.
a children's book. I shouldn't. at this
Yeah,
point.
yeah. You should be able to follow no matter what. But yeah, so I thought I'll share a little of the backstory. So I just posted a few weeks ago, hey, who of my friends loves doing illustrating? Because I've always wanted to write a kid's book, and my son's almost 3, and I've been saying that I'm going to write one around, and I just kind of got tired of hearing myself saying it and not doing it. You ever get in
Right.
those positions where you're like, I'm tired of hearing myself. So I was like, well, what's holding back is illustrations, because my drawings aren't good enough, as you can see from these little sketches over here. But I was like, I could write one. I just need someone to illustrate. And so I posted that just saying who's into illustration, and a friend of mine named Larry Roberts. He's actually in Texas too. What part of Texas are you in?
I was in Texas. I live in Rochester, New York now. I
Oh.
moved here in 2019. I know we haven't talked for a while.
Yeah.
And I stopped really posting a lot of stuff on Facebook.
Me
so-
too. Me too.
Hey,
Yeah.
hey, I'm close to you, dude.
Where are you
I'm
at, girl?
actually, yeah, I'm going to be coming back up to Rochester for, okay, it's a whole thing, but I'm in Allegheny County, like an hour and a half south of Rochester.
Yep.
Oh,
I
wow.
know it well.
And I actually
Oh
met
my God.
both of you separately in San Diego. So
Yep.
Crazy
yep.
world.
Oh yeah, I love
Yeah,
that.
we'll connect after this, and then we can get together and tell either good or bad stories about Laura.
oh no.
And we can report back.
Only
I
the
love
worst only the worst stuff is good for entertainment.
Only the best salsa dancing stories.
Oh yeah, I know. I forgot. I think that might have been the last time I salsa danced, because
Might have been the last time I did too.
yeah, it's so
I moved
sad.
to Texas, not really a thing over there. And then I moved to New York, not really a thing over here. So
Oh wow. Yeah. Having a kid kind of puts the kibosh on leaving the house after 7 p.m. for anything.
yeah, I'd imagine so. Yeah.
Pretty much. I'm really boring now, and I sit around writing rhyming children's stories. Just kidding. No, that's interesting. Okay. So my friend Larry Roberts, who lives in Texas, he said, oh, I love doing illustrations. And he is also a podcaster, and he's done a book and all that stuff. So he's kind of like familiar with the whole world of this kind of stuff. So we got on a call and we were brainstorming ideas. And by the end of it, we were like in tears laughing about doing it with duck characters and having like double meaning phrases in there, like no ducks given, and like get the duck out of
Got
here,
it.
that kind of stuff. So there's some jokes for adults that kids wouldn't notice, hopefully.
Mhm.
And then a few days later, another friend reached out and was like, hey, I own certain NFTs, and these images that you see, he owns them. So like he has these 3 Bored Apes, which are like hundreds of thousands of dollars or something if you wanted to buy one. Like, so I don't have any of those, but he's like, you can use the IP. Would you want to use them in a book? And I was like, oh, I hadn't written the book yet. So I was like, do you want to all 3 of us talk? And so we've been kind of brainstorming on stuff. So he also owns these 2 ducks, and these are called sup ducks. That's another NFT project, sup ducks.
Okay.
So these images are kind of the inspiration behind what the drawings might be inspired by. So the main characters in the book are Danny Mallard, that's a girl duck, and Ducky Ducker, and then Allie Ape and just 2 other apes. She's like the queen of the apes. Okay.
Yeah.
So I will read it and open to any reactions or insight. Okay. So for the imagery here, this is Danny Mallard, and her parents are coming through like a portal in the sky.
Mhm.
Okay. And now she's walking to school. A new metaverse is found and the Mallards make the move, but so different and alone, it's hard to find your groove. Walking down the new school hall, not a friendly face in sight, Danny quickly looked around and tried to hide the fright. I'm so different. I'm so weird. No one looks the way I look. I'll just sit here and pretend to read this silly book. And so maybe we can have like a cute joke or something with that book title on there. Sad and feeling super low, Danny waddled slowly back, when behind a well-trimmed bush, there came a thunderous quack. Danny jumped and chirped for joy. I have found another duck. Was he there in school today or here playing in the muck? Coming into full duck view, Danny smiled and said hi, but stumbled just a little and kicked mud into his eye. Oh no, I'm sorry, she yelled, feeling far worse than before. Well, I'm already dirty, so what's a little bit more? My name is Ducky Ducker, he said, smiling and muddy. Nice to meet you, laughed Danny. Hey, want to be my buddy? Sure thing, said Ducky nicely. I can show you all around. Have you met Allie Ape yet? She really runs this small town. No way, said Danny, sighing. The apes all seemed mean and bored. I tried saying sup today, but was totally ignored. Let's go, said the little ducker. I know what we need to do. At my house, we'll find the way to sneak into their crew. Come inside and try this on, he said with costume in hand. It's brown, soft, and has a tail. I don't think I understand. In a top secret treehouse, the coolest kids have a club. If we morph to look like them, we'll no longer get the snub. Since it couldn't get much worse, she thought it was worth a try. As they passed Mother Ducker, they waved and said goodbye. Getting close, they heard the noise, lots of fun and playing games. They were shooting videos to generate more fame. And there's a sign that says no duck zone. In the middle of the pack stood the leader of the apes. Allie laughed and cheered them on while munching on green grapes. The ducks put on their costumes, climbed up and walked on through. Chatting, laughing, and smiling, their confidence quickly grew. The apes are nice and friendly, not mean like I thought before. Maybe we should not have fibbed, but knocked right on the door. Hey, you two are imposters. I can see you have webbed feet. Apes only here. We're the best. This club's for the elite. We lied. It's true. We're sorry. We just wanted to make friends. Get the duck out of our club. Birds and apes just do not blend. With their heads now hanging low, the 2 ducks felt so much worse. Where I come from, it's better because buddies are diverse. Allie Ape then came forward. What you said does make good sense. Let's give you one last chance to speak in your defense. Danny thought about back home where humor helped creatures bond, but kids seem so much different here. How will these apes respond? So Danny breathed in deeply and took her one last shot. To have fun in the water, we ducks don't need a yacht. The apes all broke out laughing, even rolling on the floor. You've got good jokes there, Danny. I can't wait to hear some more. Everyone came together and took down the no ducks sign. Would you like to eat some grapes? Here, you can have some of mine. Feathers, fur, webbed feet, long tails, run, fly, swim, climb, or crawl. Being different isn't bad. We're buddies one and all. The end. Thank you.
I love it.
That was good. That was good.
Thank you. Any areas where like it could be tweaked? I realized, as I think I was saying to Jessica before you came on and to John, I realized I used the word worse 3 times. So I'm going to go and fix that because I don't want to have repetition, maybe 2 max, but 3 is like, okay, that's too much. So, and hopefully
I mean, I wasn't really critiquing and, looking at, the structure of the writing. I was just listening to the story, like I'm a 5-year-old kid or a little kid try to and you get it all. And it's funny, thinking about kids books now when they're in a treehouse and they're making videos.
Right.
I'm sitting there, I'm like, that would have never happened in any of my books. This is nonsense. But the kid in me has to sit there and say, yes, this makes absolute sense. So I think that was good, and hopefully they're still doing that for years to come. So you can
Yeah,
keep
right.
getting readers and they understand. But yeah, I think it relates with what a kid would see going on. It's obviously has that story in there, that every little kid can relate to being scared and going someplace new and making friends and learning how to make light of a situation, I think.
Mhm.
So yeah, I don't I didn't catch anything that really just like slapped me and said, hey, this probably could change or
Yeah.
needed to, but on a first glance, I think great job.
Cool. Thank you.
Now that I've heard it the third time, I want to know where. I actually now I'm wondering where they're from because you mentioned it a couple times. Like this isn't like home, and so my mind is either I would ask that as a kid, like, well, where are they from? Like, what? So are they going back to where they're from? Like now I'm hooked. I want to know.
Yeah.
You got a hooker in there.
That's good. Yeah. Cause like our vision as we were talking about this is like, we just want to have fun with it and it is what it is. But in the back of our mind, how could we also be ready if we did want to expand it more? So maybe we do have or we have a book about her backstory and where they're really from, or then maybe we do a book that focuses on the apes this time. And then I'm thinking other characters can be at the school. So there might be like, a moonbird, if you guys know of like another character's like, or another NFT. So then we could have a book that's inspired by moonbirds and have the ducks and the apes as background characters. So those and kind of make like a whole Marvel universe of.
Yes. I was thinking that. And actually, something else I was thinking about was you didn't make it so like, I love that you still actually made it a costume they had to put on instead of it just being a virtual reality like hidden thing. Like they could have just you could have wrote it that they had to actually change their literal whole appearance into a mirage or whatever,
wow.
But you didn't. You actually made it because VR is also sorry, I have accessibility on it. I'm hearing all my audio stuff being read to me. Where was I? Because VR at the same time we're talking about tokens and NFTs, VR, meta, third dimension, like all of that is also a real thing right now too. And I'm trying to say that I like that you didn't try to add all of that component in here too, and they could just be a kid. Like all kids can relate to pretending and using their actual surroundings to like be creative, and it's not always about the tech. So I actually, even if you didn't intend that, I noticed that detail where I'm like, oh, instead of them putting on their VR headset to turn into an ape, or whatever, you kept it basic where they put on ape costumes. So like, I actually like that.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I never even thought about doing a VR thing. That would be, more advanced than maybe I would be ready to write about, just because I haven't really done much VR in my own life. And I guess my vision is like, because I have a 3-year-old, so I'm trying to think of something that if I read it to him, he would enjoy it, even if he doesn't fully get everything, but he would like the rhymes and the pictures and like get certain elements. And then it would also be fun for slightly older age kids that maybe are reluctant readers and they need something that's like silly and funny and good imagery to get them hooked, and just something fun that parents can read out loud to their kids and have a couple of chuckles for themselves that the kids maybe don't get with the duck jokes.
I love it.
Yeah, I think you got a great start here. And there's always room for, more duck puns and terminology,
Right.
and they can go to a restaurant one day and someone's stuck with the bill and all fun, silly
Oh,
things like
yeah.
that.
Oh no.
That's
got the
Yeah, I know you can get
dad
real
joke.
cheesy with it because they're 5, so you can
Dad
do whatever you
joke.
want.
exactly. I like that.
I mean, I was going Beatrix Potter route with like the ugly duckling, but this is, yeah, you could also go that route with, and she was, and I don't know if you're on here when John, like, there's also opportunities here to, to influence the publishing space for kids' books, because Laura was talking about how she's just trained to just look at things where it's like, oh, if I was writing this, I would totally cross this whole sentence out. Where are the heroines? Where are, like, so I love that she approaches it this way, and she made some of the leads be female, and just, I mean, a 3-year-old's not going to care. They don't care about gender
Yeah.
per se, but it just, honestly, I see a series, I see so much of this, so much potential with where this could go. And you might be like, I just need to cross this box off because I said I would write a book. but as I heard it, it's just like, what's next? Like, where's the series here? And then something else I thought of is even your process of how you got people engaged with, like, I know it might be separate projects as far as like the kids and the voice actors and some of the other stuff. In my mind, it's actually related, because there's probably kids making NFTs now. I mean, there's kids who are writing books. Well, I mean, obviously maybe working with their parents or whatever, but in the NFT space, you might be able to find collaborations there too, of like, hey, do you want your NFT to be part of your book?
Yeah.
And interviewing more people that way, like, that'd be so cool. Like, I'm thinking of my nieces, they're designing stuff all the time and sort of going the cosplay route and whatnot, but at the same time they have talent. Like, there's like those apes, I mean, I don't know, there's a lot of talented folks out there, and it'd be cool to be like, how it's like, I don't know, you'll see slogans where it's like written by women for women, or by this for that. Like, you can even have a whole series of, all aspects of this was by a kid. Like,
Yeah.
the illustrators, just saying, like, I love it. I think it's cool.
Cool. Yeah.
So my one
ideas.
question, Laura, is: are you going to have Ape 2 still smoking a pipe?
I did address that on a past reading on this call. No, I would prefer not to have a pipe be incorporated, but
I mean, it's very old school and gentlemanly like, but
the ape in the picture
it's a vape, okay? Get with it.
Could have like what's it called, like a Tootsie Pop or something, so that ape could still be like licking on a sucker or something that's still referencing like a throwback without making it actually a pipe.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
I would prefer not to encourage that in my own child.
Yes, I would hope not. Also, pipes, if you're gonna smoke, just too much work, from what I understand. It's just not. It's not anything the kids or adults want to do anymore these days.
Yeah.
But I think other than that, I think the apes are good. I think the ducks are good. There's always more that you can do to it, but for this particular story, I think you did a heck of a job. And
thank you.
There's your high five.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, count me in for a copy.
Cool. Thank you. That's so sweet of you guys. I really appreciate your jumping on this impromptu. I was like, let's see if anyone's around and wants to hear a read through and get some feedback, because like it's good in my own head and by my husband, but it's good to see reactions from
after a while your own writing is perfect until somebody else reads it, and then you realize a couple of the small things. But I totally get that. But yeah, if you need anything else, let me know.
Cool.
While I have some sort of capacity to help, I will.
Yes.
And in the meantime, I'm gonna go back to the hard stuff. Yes.
Yeah.
But
I gotta get
good to see you, honey.
I gotta get going too. But yeah, thank you.
Jeff, look forward to talking with you, and I'll talk to you guys later.
Okay, bye, Robert.
Yeah.
All right. And I got to wrap up too, Jessica, but thank you so much for jumping on and giving your feedback. I love all the ideas.
Yeah. Well, as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh man, I need to see what she's doing. And it's just right in line with like where a lot of just some projects I already was involved with are going. So a perfect collaboration opportunity. So I will I made a quick comment on your post, and then we can always find a time to where I might be of support with this. It would be wonderful to reconnect. So really appreciate it.
Cool. Yeah, for sure. Well, thank you so much, and we'll talk again soon.
Okay.
Okay. Bye.